Hi, and welcome back to the Crit Hit Wild podcast, where we talk about all things Marvel Crisis Protocol and review a different character every week. I'm your host, Jared.
I'm Brad.
I'm Fred.
Yeah, and this is going to be the Dormammu episode, suggested to us on YouTube by EelShark12345. So thank you, EelShark, if you're listening, for the suggestion for Dormammu. But before we get into anything else, how you guys doing?
I'm doing fine. I'm tired. It is right now in the United States. There is a major winter storm coming down, and it's bearing down on all of us. And I am gonna have to work in it tomorrow, and that's gonna. I'm really scared. I'm really nervous. It's gonna be
Yeah,
an unpleasant.
I'm not excited about it. I did successfully procure a ride to work, so I don't have to worry about driving in that mess. But hopefully, there's not going to be like 800 wrecks on the roads.
Yeah.
So hopefully,
It,
people are driving smart. So
Here's the thing with this kind of storm. If they make a lot of hullabaloo, I don't know the word I'm trying to look for. Hullabaloo? There you go. If they make a lot of hullabaloo about it, people avoid the roads, and then it's a lot easier to drive
yeah,
because there's no one on the roads.
yeah,
So you just go 30 on the interstate, you'll be fine.
yep. So if you are, I mean, I guess this will come out over the weekend. So yeah, I guess if you are, um, doing any kind of traveling for the holidays over the weekend, please do be safe. And I guess happy holidays. If you're celebrating Christmas, then Merry Christmas to you, because this will probably come out. Yeah, I guess either Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. So
Hey, this is our Christmas episode.
this is the Christmas
This,
episode. So
holy moly.
all right,
Uh, Merry Christmas to those of you who celebrate Christmas.
yeah, Merry Christmas. Hope you guys got something good. If you got anything, oh, geez, my chair almost broke. I need a new chair for Christmas. How about that? If you guys got anything MCP or just gaming related in general, feel free to let us know what you got. We'd love to hear about it. Uh, we breezed past Brad. How are you doing, Brad?
I'm doing fine. Unlike you guys, I don't have to go to work tomorrow.
You don't. You're lucky. Well, before we get into some stuff like news announcements, anything else with the cast, shout out to Steve for kind of filling in for me. I've had some family issues going on the last probably couple weeks, but everything's good. Everybody's healthy, so we're all past that now. So that's why I take a little bit of a break. But thank you, Steve, for filling in for us. It was fun to listen to you on the cast. He's got a very good he's got a good voice for radio. I think he did
I
fine for
agree.
himself. Yeah,
Thank you, Steve, for coming.
yeah.
It was nice to have. We will have Steve back on the pod here at some point. We've got to do Craven the Hunter, and we'll have Steve back on that one.
There you go. That's a good episode for him. Yeah, so thank you for that. Couple things to talk about as far as news and announcements. I did not get to weigh in on my thoughts on the new crises, so
Yeah. What's your take?
just to chime in, I think that they're really good changes. I like the points that they're kind of coming down from 20, and they got rid of 14. 14 was like an odd one. I'm also glad they kind of changed research from 16. I think that the threat values that they kind of altered are good and healthy for the game. I think that the way that they've set up the new maps and some of the way that the crises work now, I think all those are good, healthy changes. I don't see anything where I'm like, oh, that sucks. Like I think that everything, just to me, I haven't played any of them yet, but from everything I see on paper, I think that they're good changes, and I also think that that was a very clever way to nerf Voodoo and Black Cat without like actually nerfing them. So I think that it was expertly handled. So
Yeah, it was. It didn't feel like it was a hammer on either one of them, and yet it was just it was a touch.
yeah, like you
It was
could
just a
still take him, and Voodoo still he's like just with everything else that he can do in general, he's still an amazing four threat. It's just it doesn't. add that like negative stress about him stealing the only extract on the board. So, yeah. But other than that, as far as other news and announcements, we did, which I didn't pull it up because I'm terrible, but they did showcase the models for Beta Ray Bill, and how do you pronounce that? Is it Ulick or Ulick? How do you say that, Brad?
I think it's Oleg,
Oleg.
but I'm
So
not sure.
Beta Ray Bill and Oleg. So I think that even me not being very well versed with comic books, I still know who Beta Ray Bill is. I feel like if you are interested in Marvel, like at all, at some point, you have either heard of or probably at least seen images of Beta Ray Bill.
Oh,
Um,
well, gee.
have you never seen Beta Ray Bill, Fred?
No, I have no idea who this character was. I never heard of them before they started talking about him last cast.
Did you
Who the
watch?
hell is Beta Ray Bill?
Did you watch Thor Ragnarok?
Yeah. Oh, I did. Is he
Whenever
in that?
whenever it shows
Yes.
the tower and it has champions' faces carved into the
Oh,
tower,
yeah.
Beta Ray Bill's one of them. So you've technically
He's
seen him.
also on. If you've seen the animated Planet Hulk movie, he's a gladiator that Hulk fights. In the comics, that was Silver Surfer, but they didn't have the rights to Silver Surfer, so they put Beta Ray Bill in it.
Do you know anything?
Okay.
You know anything about the Ulick guy?
Yes, he is the strongest of the rock trolls,
Okay.
and he has knuckle dusters made of the same metal as Thor's hammer, which I think is Uru metal.
Okay.
And that model is the coolest he's ever looked.
Fair enough. And so, what affiliation, like, does he, like, who does he fight with typically?
I'm assuming they're gonna put him in Asgard, just like they put all the other Thor villains. I don't know of anything else that he's in. I didn't look it up, so let's do that real quick.
I also don't know. Similar to Fred, I know of Beta Ray Bill, but I don't know much about Beta Ray Bill. Is there like just a quick little snippet you can give for us about the character?
He's an alien.
I see.
Okay.
He wrestles Thor, and after Thor wins, he gets a hammer made for him to honor his bravery. And in the comics, for a while, the Thor comic is about Beta Ray Bill. I didn't read those comics. Okay, Ulick was a member of Roxxon,
Mhm.
Dark Council, and Circus of Crime.
Circus of Crime. That's an interesting one. That caught my attention.
So he's either gonna be he could be in Asgard
Uh-huh.
because he's Asgard related. He could be in Cabal randomly because they like to just throw whoever in it,
They do.
and that's about it. It looks like.
If it's the circus of crime, it could be part of the criminal syndicate.
I don't think so.
It's a circus of crime, Brad. A circus
Nah.
of crime.
I would love if they put Circus of Crime in this game. There ain't no way.
That's too niche, probably.
When I think, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was saying that's probably pretty niche if they were to put that as like an affiliation. But go ahead.
When I think of a rock troll, I can't help but think of the trolls in Witcher 3, and where they're these big lumbering rocks, essentially, that just talk as if they have a first grade education.
Is there a quest to give one some paint so he
Yep.
can? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I know what you're talking. Okay. Yeah. Yep.
Beta Ray Bill is a Corbinite.
Is that his
which
race?
A
Yeah.
Corbinite.
Yeah, from the planet Corbin. And to our UK listeners, that means something else to you. He was in Omega Flight, so that would be a branch of Alpha Flight, which they haven't put in the game yet. Star Masters, I have no idea what that is. Asgard, Thorcore, Annihilators, which is kind of related to Guardians of the Galaxy and Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh,
so
okay.
he could be Asgard and Guardians.
Looking at Agent Venom too, it looks like Guardians are going to be getting some good releases.
Yeah, they could get both of those.
Just like by nature of what's coming out. So, all right, well, I mean, he looks cool. I really like the lightning that they have coming off of the hammer. That looks really really awesome.
Yeah, it looks pretty neat for
Um,
being a horse space weirdo.
hopefully that he breathes a little bit more life into. There's, what do you think the odds are that he'll be a leader or have a leadership?
I don't think so.
Don't think
It's
so.
possible, but I
For
don't think
Asgard,
so.
Yeah,
I mean,
I didn't know how prevalent, like, I didn't know if he ever led any teams or anything like that, so I didn't know if maybe he might have one. But
it would be interesting if they gave him a leadership for Asgard. I think that would be very interesting.
I mean, them having a second leadership would be amazing. That's
It would be great
been
for him.
holding out for you. Well, as far as other news goes, as far as like what AMG has been putting out, they are pretty busy with Star Wars Legion at the moment. Um, they've done, points update, and they've been drip feeding articles about some rules changes that they're going to be doing for the game, or that they are doing for the game, and then they're going to have a full rules document that's being dropped, I think January 16th. So they definitely have to show a little bit of love to some of their other games, and that's what they've been doing. So a little bit light. I mean, I guess it's not light, 'cause I mean, we've seen Rhino, where we're getting these images of Beta Ray Bill and Ulick. And then we have, Spider Woman and Agent Venom. So it's not like we're not getting anything, but a lot of the tweets going out are Star Wars Legion related. But that's a good thing. I'm glad to see. Oh, go ahead.
Every time you say Ulick, I keep thinking of the Star Wars character Ulick Qel-Droma, who is as niche as you can possibly get in the Star Wars universe. But it's also a character that probably will exist at some point. And I don't know how Shatterpoint's going to work, but
What media is
he's
he
a
from?
character. So he's from the books, so I think he doesn't exist anymore. But it was the one of the original Sith uprisings was Exar Kun and Ulick Qel-Droma.
Okay.
Boy, we're getting. Never mind. I regret bringing up this.
No,
This
you're good.
tangent.
It's all nerd stuff, man. I actually picked up a Star Wars book for Rebecca for Christmas. I don't. It's a
Really?
shot. It's a shot in the dark. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what it's called. Lords of the Sith. I think is
Okay.
what it
What if
is.
she listens to this and you just ruined Christmas for her?
Well, Chris will have already opened presents by the time this comes out.
I
I get,
guess as the
Really?
editor, you could make sure that's true.
yeah, I can make sure it's true. Also, she's not going to listen.
Yeah, you're right.
Like,
Why would she listen to this the first
I
episode
think
that
that
she ever
she
listened
will
to?
give us. Well, no, she's listened before, but like she'll give us plays. Like she'll put it on and then like go get coffee. Like, so I mean, she doesn't actually listen, but she gives us a view. So thanks, babe. Um, yeah, but that's pretty much all the news that's kind of come out as far as what AMG's been putting out. I don't think that there's any other like rumors or anything to talk about, unless you guys have heard something that I haven't. But so
I haven't heard anything.
why don't we, Brad? I'm sure you're chomping at the bit to cover more Cerebro stuff. So why don't you go ahead and run us through some new Cerebro stuff that's happening?
Okay, by the time you're listening to this, I have already made the big update where I'm changing the database and how the image locations are stored so that next week I can actually add to the app version of the thing to Cerebro. It will download the pictures and store them on your phone. And then the next step after that is to download other data it needs and store it on your phone. And then it will only intermittently need internet access. And you'll be able to use the app offline. And if all that testing goes well, then I release it to the wild and everybody can get it.
Okay.
I've also added the art for all the tactics cards. So if you just keep scrolling past everything else, the last thing for the tactics cards is every artwork.
Okay, cool. How smoothly has your testing gone? Like, have you hit a lot of bumps, or is it gone pretty well?
The only problems so far with testing it are problems that the website also has,
Okay.
except for one thing. Like the copy button doesn't work on Android. Like when you go to like copy your list,
Hmm.
either the Discord button or the regular button or whatever, it didn't work. So I've added code that hopefully fixes that. But I haven't, that's going to roll out in this update. So I don't know yet if it works. Because
Okay.
I personally don't have an Android device.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I'm sure everybody appreciates your hard work. You had quite a few playtesters, or shit. You've had not playtesters. You've had a few people testing for you, right? Like you
yeah.
got a decent amount,
Yeah.
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 So,
Yeah. All the Patreons have access to it. And everyone in our personal Discord has access to it. So,
yep. Thank you everybody who are chipping in and kind of helping Brad work out all the bugs and the kinks, and everybody appreciates all your hard work that you put into it. So, thank you very much, Brad. Um, well, let's see, we talked about Cerebro. I guess what we can go on to, or what I'm going to move on to right now before we keep getting into it, is a little fun topic I've got to discuss this week, and that is it's the holidays, all right? So what would be your holiday wish list for MCP? Whether it's a change that you want to see happen, whether it's a model that you want to come to the game, what would be your wish list going into 2023? Go ahead, Fred.
Oh boy.
Spotlight.
You know what? Honestly, my answer was gonna be a new Crisis, but I feel like they've done that. I
Yeah.
feel like
we
Christmas came
we
early.
did get a new Crisis.
Yeah, and a bunch of new Crisis rules, which are good. So, uh, all right. So I think that what I would love to see is a oh gosh, no, that's not a good idea. That's not a good idea. Why don't we come back to me?
All right, all right. You got something, Brad?
Yes, I would like a multiple man, please.
Yeah, that makes sense. I should have known from the beginning that was what yours was going to be. What I know we've talked about this like in person, but what would you like to see in regards to like how his like multiplicity works?
I would
Would
like
would you like
I would
tokens? Would you like a
like
tactics card? Would you just like it to be like a superpower? What would you like?
I would like to be able to have multiple mans. I don't it's whatever they do, I'm sure it's gonna be fine. I've said that it could be grunts. It could be I even know exactly how that grunt mechanic should work. When he takes damage, if he does not get dazed, he puts out grunts. 'Cause that's how his superpower works.
Oh, that would be cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
I would like that. I think that's actually really,
that
really
is
neat.
literally how his superpower works. Another thing, and he'll like hit himself to make them too. But putting out tokens like Jonathan token type thing
Hmm.
would also be interesting, especially if you can put out multiples of those and just stuff like that. Whatever, like whatever they come up with, I'm sure it'd be cool.
That actually like is a really exciting like with that first thing you said, like that actually like excites me. Like that'd be so cool to have like him and then also have like a medium base that has like three of him on it.
Yeah,
And then,
yeah,
yeah, and then you get to put it out. That's so cool. Yeah, they should do
yeah,
that.
uh, and probably have an attack that puts them out like Shadowland Daredevil and Elektra.
Yeah.
Because he can do it on purpose, but
All right. I think if I had to put something that I want next year, it has to like I think I've talked about it before on the cast, but I would like it to just be like a whole thing and have like kind of like Thanos. He came with an ultimate counter in his throne. I would really
Oh, I
like
know where this is
Apocalypse.
going.
Yeah, I want Apocalypse in a box by himself. Has maybe, some terrain or something, and then also has like an ultimate encounter in there. And then along with that release, you put 2 boxes with 2 minis apiece in them and give us the 4 horsemen. Just make that a whole thing, and I would be tickled shitless. It would be so great.
Which
So,
set of 4 horsemen do you want?
okay, so here's the thing. You're gonna know way more than I do because I don't know all the sets. But what I would want is probably like I just want them to do straight like 90s cartoon. Like that's what I want because that's what I grew up with.
Oh, yeah.
But that's not
That
what they're going
is
to do because that's probably like the least exciting version
no,
of it.
no, no. That is the original comics version. Like that's the version that showed up the most and was one of 2 options I think is likely.
Yeah, like that's
It's
probably what
either
I
going
would
to
want.
be it's either going to be that set or it's going to be the original 4 horsemen, which are his children, who just showed up recently in comics. Fred, I know what you want.
I know what I want too, but why don't you tell me?
Fred wants 3D Man.
I don't even know who 3D Man is.
3D Man has the power, like he has the equivalent strength and durability of 3 men.
That's pretty cool.
Just 3
Okay.
of them.
Okay.
I like that a lot.
Okay. He's not some dimensional witch who can change what dimension he can't turn into a 2-dimensional object and slip in cracks or something.
Nope. He just has the equivalent strength of 3 men.
Well, that's
He also later gets like vision powers, like he can see in like different spectrums.
okay.
You also might like Throg.
Okay. Who's
Throg
Throg?
Throg is Thor but a frog.
Oh, yeah, that'd be really cool too. Wow, those are
Oh,
2
you
great
got me.
ideas. They should put those in a
You
box
got
together.
me.
3D
Yeah,
Man
there
and
you go.
Throg. I would love that. That's awesome. Yeah, fucking A.
My real answer is a new leadership for Spider Foes. A new leader for Spider
Oh,
Foes.
okay.
That is my real answer. That and Throg.
Yeah,
Now,
I mean,
now I must have that.
that's fucking metal. I love that so much. So let me ask you, Fred.
hmm
I'm you could either give me what you want the leadership to do, but who would you like to see the leadership on?
I was thinking Electro.
Okay.
And is that a
No.
bad? Is that a bad?
Fred
Yeah.
has issues, or Brad
All
has
right,
issues.
Brad. Tell me who
No,
it should
it's
be.
it's not gonna be. It's gonna be Doc Ock, and it's gonna be called Sinister Six.
Yeah. Well, that's not going to be a Sinister Six affiliation.
No, I think it'll be a Spider Foes thing. Like
Oh,
how
that's trash. They should make like a legit
I
Sinister
don't
Six.
think it will be.
Mm.
There's so many people who've been on it. That's like basically every Spider Foe. It's gonna be like how Mystique's leadership is called Freedom Force.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, that
yeah,
makes
okay.
sense. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because the combination of the two is there's so much crossover
Yeah.
that
Oh yeah.
there's no reason to have them be different affiliations.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be
Yeah.
super excited with the Doc Ock too. Like,
Yeah, I would too. That would be
that'd
very
be
cool.
really cool. Yeah.
How's the card worded? The Green Goblin Doc Ock card. Does it say Doctor
Well-laid
Octopus?
plans?
Yeah.
Oh, good question.
Uh,
I didn't answer that.
are you looking it up?
I'm going through the process of looking it up. I'm not as quick as Brandon is. Sorry.
Yeah, I
I
don't
got
know.
it.
I don't know how Brandon does it that quick. He's
I
just like
got it.
always
I've got
listening.
Doctor Octopus.
Dr. Octopus. Yep.
It says Green Goblin, Doctor Octopus.
Okay, so it would work on any of them. So that's really cool.
No, it wouldn't work. If it's called Doctor Octopus,
Oh, you're right. It would need to have
Yeah.
Otto Octavius. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it would have to. It'd have to be called Doctor Octopus again, and they have not done that yet.
Son of a
Now
bitch.
they could include that as a card in that set and just
Oh,
change the
just
name.
reword it. Yeah.
And yeah, they could have read it.
Because I mean, there's no reason like they didn't
They
know they were
didn't-
going to make 2 Doc Ocks when they first made the card.
Fred, counterpoint, they did not errata Weapon X. So neither of the models that come in the Weapon X box can use the card called Weapon X.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, well. Yeah, I like that idea, Fred. I think another Spider for Leadership would be pretty awesome, especially, we're getting Rhino. He's coming out
Yeah.
and adding a little bit into the affiliation and stuff like that. So
I feel like they're
I'm
gonna be in
now
play.
super excited for Rhino.
you are.
Have you?
Yes.
Did you try him out?
No, but I realized that he'd be really good in my Weapon X list that I'm.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Oh my God, you're right. He's a Weapon X model. Like
Yeah,
a Weapon
he
X.
goes very well with Weapon X.
Yeah, brutal high speed boys, and I boys in the multi-gender sense, and they kick ass. Yeah.
They're tons of fun.
All right. Well, yeah. Just wanted to see what you guys thought as far as what you would want out of the game in 2023. So I think those are all pretty good suggestions. But, I guess we can move on to we did have our local game night. I guess as of recording last night. So I was gonna talk about the games. I did play Star Wars Legion, so I won't go into that too much because this is an MCP podcast. But I played Empire and I played some Iden, and I also played Din Djarin, and Din Djarin's really good. So that's all I have to say about that. But Brad
Yeah.
actually played.
Jared has stopped playing him.
I have not stopped playing MCP. I'm having a little bit of an affair, is all that's going on. But
He's a little Legion curious.
yeah, that's what's going on. But Brad did play some MCP, and did you play on the new Crises?
We played the 2 crises we played were.
Nice.
What were they?
We need Brandon here for this too. He always remembers these.
Yeah, he does.
If I
those
look at my
were-
list, it'll help.
Brandon is not here. He is currently
Driving
driving.
to see
And
family
he-
for the holidays.
And he forbid me from saying anything good about the game, so I can only say negative things.
No.
Okay,
No. He
negative things
doesn't.
only.
He doesn't want you to talk about how good you did in the game because you lost. to
Struggle for the cube.
Brandon playing Brotherhood. So Brandon, our baby boy Brandon, beat Brad at his own mutant game. It's a shame. Absolute
Struggle
travesty.
for the cube. And Gamma. It was new Gamma.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was pretty back and forth. But there was one turn where it was my turn to go off. You know how those games go. Like,
Mhm.
I did a bunch of damage to him, to some of his models. He did that to me the next turn, and then it goes back and forth. But it was my turn to go off, and Brandon decided to go off again. So that turned the game around. Brandon made some mistakes, but at the end, he did the things he needed to do to win.
What were the leaderships you guys were playing? I'm assuming he was playing Magneto.
He was playing Magneto with Juggernaut, Blob, Pyro.
Mhm.
And I was, of course, playing Weapon X leadership. There's only one. It was on Logan. I was playing their secondary leadership, Dossier, and that was on Sabretooth. And I was also playing X-23, Domino, and Deadpool.
Okay.
Ooh.
That's a
Okay.
good combination. I like that.
Yeah, Deadpool, I determined after the game was probably a mistake this game, but last time I played him, it was great. So, um, yeah, it was a fun game. I did lose. It was a close game though. I think the final score was 16-14, something like that.
Following the trend that the new crises tend to make closer games.
Yeah. There, I think it was the second turn we actually scored the middle one. Well, I scored it, and Brandon was like counting up points, and he counted as 2 because that's what it used to be. And I'm like, nope. It's only worth 1 point now.
All right, well, I guess. You know what I completely forgot to do, like in the very beginning of the cast, was like announce upcoming tournaments in the news. When is going to be the next Charleston tournament?
January 21st. Yep.
Yeah, I was thinking about because you guys talked about how you just got done playing the tournament, like on the last cast, and I was thinking about that, and I was like, I didn't announce when our next tournament was at all, so. Uh,
Yeah.
so yeah, if you want, come down, play. Uh, I'm calling you out, Tim, because you keep saying that you're going to come down to a Charleston tournament, and I don't know about you,
I
Brad, but I don't
Okay,
think
hold
that
on.
he's shown up.
He has not shown up.
Yeah.
And he's also promised to me he's going to show up. But I'm going to let him slide for the January tournament. If he ends up not making it because of weather, I'm not going to give him a hard time.
At this point, there's no
But
excuses.
if the weather's clear and he didn't show up, come on, Tim.
Tim, we're calling you out right now on the cast. We've covered the characters you've wanted. We've given you the damn shout outs. It's
We've
time.
helped you build your list.
We've helped you out. It's time for you to come down here and take an ass whooping from us. Okay? You don't need to be scared. There's not going to be a 12-year-old to beat you up. We're all going to be adults. All right? You're not going to lose to any children. Well, maybe he will. I
Well,
don't know.
maybe
Like
he
Mike,
will.
my
It
breed
might
is
be.
yeah, yeah. Maybe so. Maybe you will. I can't promise that, but
That is a actual possibility.
come on, Tim, get down here. But yeah.
He
So
might kick all of our asses. We don't know what the meta in Columbus is like.
yeah, he might actually be just like a crazy power player, and he's just gonna come trounce everybody. But
Yeah.
we'll never know if he doesn't come down here. But yeah, for anybody else listening, if you're near the Charleston area, or if you're kind of in the surrounding states and you want to make the drive down, we'd love to have you at the tournament. I mean, we have okay turnouts. They're not like the craziest. Like you're not looking at no 5 to 6 round bender, but it's a fun time.
Most importantly, we're having fun, everyone. We have fun tournaments.
That's what it's about.
Yeah.
But I think if you guys are ready, we can start taking a look at the man of the hour.
I'm ready.
Oh, just one more thing. It's
Yeah.
event 6679.
Oh yeah, good call. All right. So yeah, this week we are taking a look at Dormammu, aka Dormammu. He is a 10 health character. He is a medium move on a large base. He is size 5, and he clocks in at 8 threat. And he has a 4/4/5 stat line. So 4 physical, 4 energy, and 5 mystic. So pretty good there. As far as stamina goes, on his injured side, he gains 2 stamina and goes up to 12. So pretty good there. Fred, you want to read off his attack suite?
Sure thing. His first attack is called Shadow Bolt. It is an energy attack. It is range 4, rolls 6 dice, and has 0 cost. It is Wild Hex, where the person gains Hex if you roll a Wild. And then also Wild Sap Power, where before damage is dealt, the target character loses 1 power for each Wild in the attack roll. And this character gains that amount of power. A very cool effect. Not a proper builder, however.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next attack is a spender. It is a mystic attack called Incantation of Obliteration. It is range 3. It has 8 dice with 5 cost. And on a crit hit, shield skull, it triggers something called Dark Miasma, where after this attack is resolved, this character may make an additional Incantation of Obliteration attack without paying the cost. The additional attack must target a character within range 2 of the original target character that has not been targeted by Incantation of Obliteration this round. And that can trigger again,
Yes.
I believe.
There are times where you can live the dream.
You can
So.
hit 3, 4, 5 different characters if they're all lumped together.
I think my record is 4.
Whew, that is heart wrenching.
I mean, it wins. That will win the game. Like that's
Yeah,
the game. That's
absolutely.
the game winning. That's a game winning thing. I'll go ahead and take the leadership and the active if you want to. If you want to take the passives, Brad, I'll take the rest of it. So he has the leadership Flames of the Fall Teen. It is affiliation Dark Dimension. If Dormammu is included in a squad, that squad is affiliated with Dark Dimension and must use this leadership ability. This character and each other character you control gains 1 additional power during the power phase. During the power phase, if another allied character has 6 or more power, it suffers 1 damage. So, pretty much if you put Dormammu on the table, you're playing this leadership. It won't let you play him as a splash character. And do note that everybody gets the additional power in the power phase. In the power phase, if you have 6 or more, you suffer 1 damage. That will daze your character. If you happen to have 6 power on them and they're sitting on 1 health, that'll daze them for the round. So real savvy players will leave some of your characters at 1 and then let them be out pretty much the entire round. So something to keep track of there. And then he has the active superpower, not of this dimension. It's cost 3, and it places this character within 2 of its current position, and the superpower can only be used once per turn. So on a large base, getting a range 2 place makes him surprisingly mobile. So then he has the reactive Feel the Power of Darkness, cost 2. After attack targeting this character is resolved, it may use the superpower. The attacking character is pushed away from this character's short and gains the Hex special condition. If the attacking character already has the Hex special condition, it gains Incinerate instead. So pretty neat powers there. You want to go over the passive, Brad?
Not really, but okay.
Okay.
Master of the Realm of Darkness. When this character suffers damage from an enemy effect, it gains 1 power instead of power equal to the damage suffered. When another allied character is damaged by an enemy effect or by Flames of Fall Teen, this character gains 1 power. Additionally, when calculating successes or failures, this character's attacks, this character adds the number of skulls in both the attack and defense rolls to its total successes. That's only when he attacks. Then he has Flight, Immunity, Bleed, Incinerate, Stagger.
So one thing to point out, when Fred was going over the Incantation of Obliteration, that requires you to have a crit, a hit, a shield, and a skull to trigger the Dark Miasma. Dormammu does count skulls in his roll and in the opponent roll, but if you don't roll a skull on your dice, it will not trigger Incantation. So it's kind of a weird one there. He does count the opponent's defense skulls as successes, but that will not trigger his incantation for him. He has to roll the skull himself. But just a little housekeeping rule there. Dormammu, I think out of everybody that's on the cast right now, so Brandon's played him quite a bit, but he's not here, so I think I'm the one that's played him the most. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
I believe that is the case.
Yeah, I played
related to that, our local Matt, who has not played since July, is still the number 1 Dark Dimension player on Longshanks.
Yeah, I had it for a little bit, and then he played the shit out of him and scooped it up from me. So maybe I should play him just so I can take my spot back since he's not playing.
You're not even on the list right now.
Ah, damn. I'll have to come get it back. Yeah, I played quite a bit of Dormammu, so I guess I'll start us off. Um, so first off, I do want to say like I've played him quite a bit. I've taken him to tournaments. I've traveled for a tournament with him, and I've won with him. So I think the one in Morgantown that I went to that I played Dorm was somewhere between 12 and 15 players, I think.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it was a pretty big one. So, I mean, he can go to events if you're thinking about, playing them locals and stuff like that, and he will. I think that he can do fine. Um, he is tricky to use. So I think that if you're wanting to actually like be competitive, but you really like the way the Dormammu and stuff operates, I think that I I don't think that he's like the most competitive pick. Like he's probably a little bit on the lower end of the spectrum. But I do think that I'm getting all scatterbrained. For fun, this guy is a ton of fun. Like the leadership is fun. What it enables you to do is a ton of fun, and playing him is it's just fun. Like he is for an 8 threat character. If I had to just put a word on it, he's fun. I've had a blast playing him. I think the list building and stuff is really good because technically all characters in this game are affiliated, and every other character that they release, until they quit releasing for this game, you can just put them in Dark Dimension and they'll be affiliated. So the jank and stuff that you can pull is pretty fun. Competitively speaking, he probably is a little bit on the lower end of the spectrum, but that doesn't mean you can't win. Again, I've taken him to tournaments, I've played with him, and I've won with him. So it's very much feasible. You can win with pretty much anything in this game except for I think I don't know that I would ever consider taking in humans or Cyclops leadership, but that's neither here nor there.
Sin.
Sin, yeah. Well, she's probably better than Cyclops, I think. So.
Eh. Eh.
But yeah. So going over his kind of defenses, I think that I've played again like quite a bit with him, and with his defense pool, his health pool coming in at 22. And then also feel the power of darkness. This is like the key right here. Is when something hits them, pushing them away short and then giving them hex that's what kind of keeps them alive. So you want to always make sure that you kind of have that safety power on him to kind of push like your big beaters like a She-Hulk or something like that off of him. But he's really durable, so I think he is durable for his threat. I haven't seen where he's been KO'd too often. His attacks are kind of where he feels a little bit bad. So like the 8 threat kind of comes in at a premium for what you're paying for like the leadership. So pretty much giving everybody like a pseudo Asgardian leadership. I feel like where a lot of the threat comes from because he does not when you're looking at killing stuff, and this is maybe where some of his competitive viability falls off, is that he does not do 8 threat worth of like damage on the board. Like Shadow Bolt is a really good attack when you like count your skulls, and most of the time he can double tap because of not of this dimension, put him within range 2. But like he's probably double tapping one character and probably getting a daze on like one character. And when you look at like another piece which is like 7 threat, or even like Hulk who's 6 threat, or Magneto who's 6 threat, they get so much more work out of their turn and they can daze multiple characters. You're not when you play Dormammu, it just the math never lines up, and if you have a bad roll or a bad turn with him, it can feel really bad putting this much threat investment into him and then not getting anything in return. And then you can live the dream with incantation, but most of the time it's a trap and you don't want to be spending all of your power on it. But just from my personal experience, I've had a ton of fun with him. I think that he's good, he's durable, he's going to stay on the board. And I think that if you haven't played him before, you should give him a try because he is a lot of fun. But I've said fun like 20 times. Oh, that's what I think. Yeah, Fred, why don't you go ahead and take over and tell us what you think about Dormammu?
Yeah, so he is. I've never played Dormammu, but he can really change the way that a lot of other characters play. I would be remiss if I let this go because Brandon is not here. I will say this. Brandon likes to play him with Bob, Agent of Hydra. And the reason why is that it lets him get his Bob Spender, which is that rocket blast that's unduly powerful for how little he is. It lets him get that off real quick, and then get it off a second time real quick. So that is a troubling thing that Dormammu allows. Another thing, here's a question. So if I were to go in on Dormammu with Malekith, because Malekith is immune to Hex, and he were to use his reactive superpower, because he can't have Hex, does that mean that he gets neither Hex nor Incinerate?
Yeah,
Correct.
he could not get either one. He would just have the short push.
That's pretty good. Okay. It's still the most relevant effect happens.
Yeah, the short
But
push away. Yeah, that's what keeps him alive. Absolutely.
yeah. Man, Dormammu is really good. I think that this is a case where he looks really good on paper, and the real cost of him is that 8 in his threat column. I mean, he looks really good on paper, but he has to do 8 threat worth of good on the table, and it's questionable whether he does that.
Yeah, the 8 threat, him being the highest threat in the game, like barring Thanos, which if Thanos gets up to 8 threat, Thanos does way more.
More work.
Yeah.
He does more work than this.
So he's just really lacking in damage, but he also doesn't bring any control on the board unless you're hitting him. And then, he also, I mean, he supplements his team with the leadership, clearly, but he doesn't do a lot for his team either. But what do you think, Brad?
Right.
I've played against Dormammu a lot. And it always sucks. It always feels bad. It always feels like I am pushing a boulder uphill. And I haven't played against him for a while, and I'm probably a better player now. But back when I was playing against him all the time, I eventually got to where I could beat him most of the time, but not every time. Depends on how things roll out. He's always seemed better than I hear people talk about on the internet. Like, they're always down on him, saying that he's bad. But in my experiences, it feels bad to be on the other side. So
yeah,
you definitely have to have a plan to deal with him.
I think that I think if people rolled up with him at like a tournament, like I feel like he has like a real dark horse factor.
Yeah.
Like people are gonna forget that he has Feel the Power of Darkness and stuff because like no one ever plays him. So
Yeah.
But I think you're correct. Like people do kind of like trash him online, but I just in practice like playing him. Like I think that if I think you have to be really smart with your like roster construction, and then you also like it seems like it's just like big man go up board and brr, but that's not necessarily like there's more to it than that, and like I think it just takes uh a lot of reps getting in with him to kind of really understand like how to play and what to do. But yeah, I don't know. I think he's good. I think the probably the most negative thing that I've actually had like with him is getting Iron Fisted. Like that fucking sucks. Uh,
That's hilarious.
yeah, Brandon did that to me and it was terrible. So like getting Iron Fisted is really awful on an 8th threat character. It's terrible. If he gets dazed or KO'd, like that's also really really bad. Which again, I've rarely seen it. Uh, and then this Flames of the Fall Teen. So again, just be wary of that because if people are really savvy or if you're playing cubes, that leadership will absolutely dunk on you and cost you the game. Like I've lost games because people are like, "What are they at? They on 1? Okay, I'll just leave them there." And you just yeah lose your character in the power phase, and it just throws your whole turn off. And Dormammu leadership really needs like every character to have good turns. If
It
that,
did change
oh, they did
cubes to
change
do
cubes.
during
Yeah,
during the
so that
cleanup phase.
actually won't be
It
as
would still
bad.
be no, it would still be just as bad because you wouldn't be able to change anything in between the cleanup phase and the power phase.
Ah, true. Well, yeah,
If
but
you were,
if they daze because of cubes, then
yeah, that's fair.
then
That's
they,
fair.
then it'd be fine. Yeah, because then
Yeah.
they
So
would
if they're
flip.
at 1 with a cube, but if
Yeah,
they're at 2 with a cube, if your opponent is, they just have to aim for leaving them at 2 if they're holding a cube
yeah,
instead of 1.
yeah.
But you're right. You're right.
But yeah. Um, I think he's good. I think people should play him. I am gonna go over the tactics cards really quick.
He's got
So
one.
one
It's
of
real
them,
good.
one of them is really
One of them's
good.
a real.
But I'll
Yeah.
go over both of them. So Dark Empowerment is Dark Dimension only. It's active, and it says during a character's activation, it can suffer 1 damage to play this card. Choose another character within 3 of the active character. Effects of the next attack made this turn by the active character cannot cause it to gain power. The chosen character gains power equal to the damage dealt by the attack. So, um, I don't. I've played this card a couple times, and I just don't think that it's. I think you're better served to take other cards in its place. There are some fun things you can do if you have somebody that's like a big spender. Dormammu suffers 1 damage because he probably has the health to spare. He does a Shadow Bolt, and let's say you do like 4 damage to a character, then you can cost somebody else to gain 4, and then that's like a spender that you want. So there are some fun things you can do with it, but I don't think that it usually makes the table for me. The other one that is huge is Dark Restoration. So it's Dark Dimension. It's reactive. During the cleanup phase, Dormammu may spend 6 power to play this card. Place an allied character of threat value 3 or less that has been KO'd this game within 2 of Dormammu. The character is healthy and has no damage, special conditions, or effects. So
That's
that's
bananas.
yeah, that's a huge
That's
one.
bananas.
Bringing back a 3 threat character that's been KO'd. It's really strong. It's super strong on like turns 5 and 6.
Yeah.
Um, it used to be a little bit better because one of the tricks I used to like to do was take Baron Zemo and play Doom Prophecy before they changed it to Asgard only. So I would play Doom Prophecy. Baron Zemo would be rolling like 8 dice attacks with full rerolls. People would kill Baron Zemo, and then I would just bring him back. So that was those were fun times, but you can't do that anymore. So
I think that we had talked when we did Malekith about how good Midnight Phantasmagoria was as a card,
hmm
and this one might give that a run for its money.
you think
I
so?
mean,
Oh no, I think Midnight Phantasmagoria is like
ah,
so much better than this.
this makes this this turns an attrition game on its head.
Yeah, I'm
This
not.
gives you a free card, a free another 3-pointer who has to have died earlier in the game, but I mean it'll happen. He uses people. That's what
Yeah,
Dormammu does.
yeah. I think
So
that that's really plays in the theme of them. And this is a to be clear, this is an auto include. Like you always take this card.
oh yeah,
Um, but yeah, very good card. I feel like that ups his value a little bit when we're talking about the grading scale. Um, yeah. So I guess we can go on to rating him. I'll go first again. I like him. Again, I've said fun like 30 times. I've had a blast playing him. I actually probably have like when I break down like how many games I've played with each affiliation, like Dark Dimension's still probably like up there. Like I've played him a lot. I like him. I think that you guys should give him a try. Like he's just a blast. So I think my competitive side wants to rank him a little bit lower, and then my fun side wants to rank him a little bit higher. So I think I'll meet somewhere in the middle, and I'll just give him a straight B. Like, I think that he's okay. He's not the best, not the worst. He's just okay, but a lot of fun. So, what about you, Fred?
you took the letter right out of my mouth. I was gonna say B. I think that he's a character who looks really, really good on paper, but there's an 8 on his card in the threat value.
Yep. What about you, Brad?
Who am I to argue? B.
Okay, there you go. I will say,
Are
I
we
think
unanimous?
it's
Has this
all
ever happened?
it's unanimous B's. I don't know that we've ever had it to where every single one of us have given the exact same letter, except
Well, I
do we
think
have like
Brandon.
did we give did all of us give a unanimous S? Was that Barry and Zemo?
Probably.
I think so.
Yeah, yeah. I think we may have all given an. Did we all give an S to Magneto? We might have.
Maybe. I have to
I
go back
don't.
and
I
I
look.
don't remember.
don't think Magneto got all S's.
I think that you're the only person who gave him like an A plus. So no, never mind. I'll shut up.
Maybe
And who
if
has played him the most?
You.
Just
that's
saying.
true.
Just saying.
Maybe if we get like if we eventually make like a Discord or like a website or something like that, maybe we can have a little spot where we actually have like one of those tier builders, and after we do a cast, we can plug a character in there, and so we'll actually like know what we did.
Keep track of stuff.
Yeah. One fun thing about Dormammu is I need to. I think I would actually like to try him like with the new crises and stuff and see how I think that he does now. I know that tall lists kind of hurt a little bit more, just by nature of like how many extracts there can be on the board now. But I do think that there not being a 16 or a 14. Well, let me rephrase that. Researcher not being a 16, and then there just not being a 14. I think that actually, because that was one of the things that scared me the most was sword base on 14.
Oh
So
yeah.
I actually, yeah, like that, and that was back when like Sam was like really becoming prevalent. So I think that that might actually have been like a little bit of a buff to Dark Dimension, not having to worry about like those really low threat values. But all right, yep. So out of us, just a straight B. So pretty good there. Um, I'm gonna flop it a little bit. When we go into the next segments. Brandon usually does a roster recommendation. So because I've played Dormammu enough, I'm actually going to take that over this week, I guess. So
Okay.
what I'm going to bring is just a kind of it's part of my like standard Dormammu roster that I used to run. Um, some of the core that I bring is Dormammu. Baron Zemo is a must-have, and when you're playing Dormammu, if you're interested in him or you're gonna try him out, you really want characters that can spin down. So you want to make sure that all of their superpowers have essentially like 2 cost superpowers at least, and it gives them something to spin down every single turn to kind of help mitigate you taking damage from the Flames of the Faltine. So Baron Zemo is pretty much like a must-have for me because all of his superpowers only cost 2. So at least at the start of the round, you're always going to be doing at least one of those superpowers. And turn 1, or any turn really, like if you need to spin down and maybe he doesn't have a target in range, you can do things like charge and still get the movement out of it, still spend the power, and even if you don't come in range to attack anybody or you just want to move somewhere else, just being able to do something like that allows you to kind of help spin down. So I really like Baron Zemo. I'm actually a very big fan of Captain Marvel with Dormammu because she's able to achieve binary like much quicker. And then once she
Ooh.
gets into binary, doing the energy blast with full rerolls, so 6 dice full rerolls, is like really really good. So Captain Marvel, Baron Zemo. I really actually like Medusa with him because we talked about actually on a recent cast like how she's still actually really good and people maybe just don't take her as much as they should. Her having 2 power lets her Royal Decree at the start of every single turn, and then probably also have additional power like later on like split ends and stuff. So her Royal Decree allows her to put Dormammu like it's just it's really good for a large base like Dormammu, and then also if she needs to get within range 3 to double tap stuff on points, she can also Royal Decree on that large base and kind of put her wherever. So like Medusa, I also like Valkyrie again for like the charges and stuff like that. I take Bullseye just because he's my favorite two threat probably, so I like to take him. But Okoye can also slot in because that turns on her bodyguard all the time. So those are pretty much the starting models that I always like to take in a list. And then after that, if you don't want to play pure Dark Dimension, which I wouldn't recommend it, I like to splash in uh, Gwen, Miles, and Venom just to be able to play
Mm.
Web Warriors for maybe some of the wider extracts. And you can sub characters like Valkyrie or maybe one of the four threats like Medusa or Captain Marvel if you don't like them as much, and put in a character that maybe plays with Web Warriors a little bit more. And that'll give you a little bit more play on some of the wider secures and also some of the more numerous extracts that we have now. And then again, I like to take Dark Restoration as one of the cards just to bring back a character. Any of the healing cards are also really good, but the other one that's probably mandatory for playing Dark Dimension is Smash. Dormammu being size 5, and then you smash a size 4 piece of
Oh
terrain.
my god.
Yeah, because he's so big, you can
Yeah.
do it for one
Oh my
power.
god.
And also, you just have to be within one. So because of Not of this dimension, you can facilitate that really well to make that easy for you to smash terrain. So I've had some pretty like beautiful plays playing like Not of this like doing Not of this dimension, playing Smash, adding 4 dice into my Shadow Bolts to do 10 dice, or that is when you can live the dream and do an incantation of obliteration at 12 dice. Uh, you hit your trigger pretty well whenever you're doing that, and that's what actually let me get like the 4 characters that one time. So you absolutely have to take Smash, and then also my last recommendation would be to take Follow Me, because Follow Me uh, is pretty easy to achieve because of how much power everything generates. So going back to back with something like a binary form Carol Danvers like into a like Dormammu turn or vice versa, it can be really like debilitating for your opponent. So that would be my roster recommendation if you're looking at playing Dormammu. And again, I played him a good amount. So if anybody has any questions or you want to reach out to me, feel free to email us or just comment on the YouTube, and I'll be sure to chat with you a little bit, talk about rosters. So, but yeah,
I have 4 point recommendations
you have
like to
4.
put in that list.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead.
if you're looking for 4 pointers,
Yeah.
Logan's pretty good.
See, he's a new release, so I've never gotten to try him.
Yeah.
So I bet he is. Yeah.
But Sabretooth, that's the money right there.
The Apex Predator.
Uh-huh.
Okay, yeah, I could see where that's really really good. Yep.
Yeah, that spender, the throw, the extra dice, you have plenty of things to spend power on.
Yep.
And they're all good.
Yeah, I think I probably like I used to be really cheeky with taking.
And he has healing factor, so if he takes a little bit of damage.
Yeah, that's true. And then you could also just
Yeah.
take. I swear, dude, like on this cast, I've forgotten the name of that exceptional healing. I've forgotten the name
yeah.
of that particular card so many times. Yeah, I like Danvers for Demons Downtown. Like that's one of the ones that I'm always trying to get like in my Crises selection because they're really good at that. But that usually leaves me with like more blasters than I want, so having Sabretooth would actually be really good in that slot. So, all right.
I've so you brought up Smash in that roster recommendation.
Mhm.
I was reading that just the other day and thinking that that's a card that a lot of people have slept on. That's a card that needs to get played more often.
Well, it's
with
like
Malekith.
yeah, so
Oh my
I
God.
take it with Malekith. Like I don't know
Yeah,
why people aren't. The thing is
I need
like
to.
I don't know. So like it's a really good. Oh God. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you. It's a really good card and probably takes somebody smarter than me. So like that takes up one of your taxes card slots.
Yep.
Unless you can generate more attacks, it only is going to be good for 2 attacks. So you have to like weigh out like the quality of the attacks that you're putting out and also like how many dice you're adding. So like it's fucking good on Hulk. It's amazing on Dormammu. It's good on Malekith. I don't know. I feel like it takes a size 4 high threat character at least to justify taking that card. I don't know if you're not playing a size 4 character or larger, if it's worth that slot on a
What
size.
about Rhino?
Hey, yeah, I was
Well-
just about to say
Well,
Rhino.
Rhino's size 4 though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I think
I
if
think
you're taking a size 4 or higher, it's worth it. But if you're not, I don't think that you bring it for a size 3 or less. I mean, unless you guys think that you do, because you're only getting 2 dice. I just don't know any. Go ahead.
I agree with you. I think that enough size 4s are recently seeing the table that this needs to be part of the conversation again.
Yeah, like Smash is
I
really
mean,
good.
Rhino. I think Rhino is going to be using this all the time.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great for him. Like,
Yeah.
Really, and I think if you take like Smash on him, you have.
Does it end at the end of your turn?
You
That's
know
a good
what?
question.
Let me. I think so. I think it's just this turn, but let me look it up.
If Brandon were here, he would already be able to tell us.
I'm almost there. I got it. Where is it at? Smash. It's within 1 of terrain features smaller. They spend 2. This activation.
This activation. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Because if it lasted the round,
Oh, that'd be really good on like characters that could clap back.
yeah, like Venom.
Yeah.
Even though he's only size 3.
Yep. It'd be really good on that. Nah, it just lasts for that turn, so.
Okay. Then never mind.
What's the card? Isn't there a card that lets you get like rerolls?
I'm sure there is.
I think it's Recal. I can't remember if I ever took Recal or not. I did. I used to take. Oh shit! What was the name of it?
The card that he was referencing is Recalibration Matrix.
Yeah. What's the one that people used to hate? Bitter Rivals. That was the good one to take too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's back in the day.
Yeah, you can't play that card now.
No, you can't.
Thank God. That was overpowered.
All right. Brad, you want to take us through some comic books?
Yes. Dormammu has appeared once in comic books, so that's what I'm going to recommend. That's not true.
No, that's not true at all.
That's not true. So I have 2 recommendations for you. One I have not read, and one I have. So the first one I have not read is called The Avengers Defenders War. It's by Steve Englehart, William Robert Brown, and Sal Buscema. And it is a crossover with the Avengers and the Defenders. And Dormammu and Loki team up to trick the Defenders into finding the evil eye. I don't know what the evil eye does, but Dormammu wants it. Loki goes behind Dormammu's back to have the Avengers search for it too, probably so he could keep it.
As he does.
So they butt heads, and then Dormammu is very, very powerful, and so they find out that Dormammu, he's behind all this, and they're like, well, we gotta stop Dormammu, and they have to team up to try to defeat Dormammu. And you'll have to read it to see what happens, but I wouldn't assume that the heroes won this one, if you know what I mean.
Oh, look at that.
The other one I have read. That was weird. Okay, my phone just freaked out for a second. The Last Annihilation. This is by Al Ewing and others. This is a comic with Dormammu, and Doctor Strange isn't in it.
Okay. Is that
rare.
odd? Yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah,
isn't that pretty odd?
Very rare. So this is a big crossover that happens in space. So the Guardians are involved. The Kree Empire is involved. The Shi'ar are involved, although barely. And the X-Men are involved because they are now involved in space. It's by Al Ewing and a bunch of other people. So Al Ewing writes the bulk of it, and then some other writers write like one-shots, And then like there's tons of artists, so I couldn't like list everybody, but Al Ewing's like the main architect. Dormammu has possessed Ego the Living Planet from the hit movie Guardians of the Galaxy 2. And he is sacrificing 3 planets full of people to open a big space portal to the dark dimension so he can come through and all the way and take over the entire universe.
Okay.
And all the space heroes try to stop him. That includes some X-Men, and the one shot called Cable Reloaded that's part of this is a very good issue of comics. It's old Cable has just come back. He was just resurrected. So young Cable had to leave the current timeline. And then he goes to this planet with like a Black Ops team and tries to stop Dormammu on that planet, and it's pretty badass.
So Dormammu is the planet?
He has, so you know how like demons possess people?
Mm-hmm.
He has possessed a living planet.
Okay.
And at one point he grows himself a body, and Ego the Living Planet is his head. I'm kind of sad that I've already made the image for this episode, because now that I'm talking about it, I should have used this picture. But Ego the Living Planet is the head that's on fire. And then he's got like a solar system sized body.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty badass.
Yeah.
All right, well.
Is Dormammu the most powerful foe that faces the Marvel universe?
Foe?
I mean, you just said that
Yes.
he. Okay.
Yeah.
He had
He
a
is-
solar system sized body.
Yeah, he is I cannot think of any other entity that has malice towards everybody.
You're adding lots of qualifiers.
Yeah, there are more powerful beings. But
Okay.
they're not foes. They're more like universal constants sort of thing.
Okay.
Okay.
Like there's a character called Eternity that is the entire universe. It's the personification of the entire universe.
Yeah, but he's not
And
like
you
out
can-
to get you.
No, he's not out to get you. He's very neutral. You can go talk to him though.
Well, not me.
There's a character that presumably talks to him on a regular basis, because his power is to talk to the universe and ask him for favors.
No. Is that a mutant?
Yes, and he's not even an Omega level.
That makes sense. How did I know that?
He is. So imagine what an Omega level universe talker can do.
Yeah.
Because he can do all sorts of stuff.
I might have to. I wonder if the shop has the Guardians comics that have Dormammu, like the one that you're just talking about. I bet that I think I would actually like to read that.
The collected series just came out recently.
Oh, really?
So yeah, so they should be able to get a copy.
I might pick that up. I think that would be pretty cool.
It was very good. I read, like, usually when X-Men are just tangentially related to stuff, I just read the X-Men bits. I read this whole thing. It was good.
Okay.
I like the Guardians too, though, so it wasn't that big of a stretch to read it.
What was the Guardians lineup in that?
Oh,
is it massive?
It's pretty big. So I think Peter Quill's there, but I know Rocket, Groot, Mantis, Drax, Phyla-Vell, Moondragon are there. I know I'm missing people. It's a pretty classic lineup.
Is Phyla-Vell? Well, I guess it might be Moondragon or one of those two, like the strongest ones that have joined the Guardians.
Phyla's pretty strong. Angela was strong too, and she was in the Guardians.
Yeah.
So, I mean, technically, Thanos was also a Guardian at one point. So,
Yeah, we don't count him.
yeah, he's pretty strong. You know, more I think about it, I don't think Peter Quill's there. I think Rocket is leading the team.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Rocket and Cable get along real well in the comic, from what I remember.
All right, well.
They both like big guns.
You'll have to show me those comics if they come by the shop and I can pick them up because I'm interested in it. But thank you for the recommendations. Fred, would you like to take us out with your non sequitur?
Sure thing. So right now, we in the United States are facing down a major winter storm. It is a chunk of Arctic weather has launched itself south into the heartland of the United States, and it is affecting nearly every state. So what do I think of when I think of terrifying cold weather and horror mixing together? Why, I think of a little movie by John Carpenter.
Oh, here we go.
Called The Thing.
Yeah.
This is,
See, I thought you were going to recommend 30 Days of Night.
I've never seen that movie.
What?
I've never seen.
It is a comic book movie and is very good.
I'll have to watch it.
I don't
promise
know
you,
that I would
I
put the
will
word
promise
very in front of it.
I promise you that the movie I'm recommending is better.
I
Because
don't know about that.
Oh
The
my God,
Thing-
Brad, you don't like good movies.
the movie The Thing is an outright classic. This is the defining alien horror. I mean, it's actually not, but it's the defining horror of the 80s where aliens, it's not even that. Oh, I'm having bad trouble. It is a great movie. It's a movie
So-
where you don't know if the people that you're with are actually the people that you're with. You don't know whether you can trust the man sitting next to you. Maybe they're possessed by some outside force, some force outside of our universe. Or maybe they're just a creature wearing a flesh suit that wants to eat you but can't because it's afraid that everyone else will burn it if it tries.
Flesh
This is a
suit.
fantastic movie.
It's so
This movie
good.
rocks. I want to
It's-
watch it right now.
Did you ever play the Thing video game?
I never did. I've heard that. You know what? I know for a fact that John Carpenter considers the Thing video game to be canon.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
John Carpenter is an interesting guy who nowadays does not make movies. He just likes to talk about what video games he's playing, and he loves it. Like he will talk your ear off about what video games he's playing. Which I
Fred.
think
I loved the game. It was so good.
Fred, my wife
need to
who
play it.
loves
Just what? You cut out.
Yeah, we lost you, Brad. Hey, hey, Brad, we lost you entirely.
Oh
am
no.
I back?
Oh my God, what's
You
happening?
know what
Fred?
her
Fred.
takeaway was? What?
Hey, Brad, we lost everything you just said.
What's
We didn't
happening?
get anything of you. You know what it was
Can you
like?
hear
It
me
was
now?
like you were turning into a thing.
Oh, it was. It's like he's turning into the
This is a
thing.
meta commentary that you just did.
That's amazing.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So my wife who loves horror films
Mhm.
watched The Thing. And this is what she said after the film, okay?
Mhm.
It was kind of boring.
That's wrong.
How does that make you feel?
It's a false statement.
That's wrong.
I respect your wife's opinion, but she is wrong in this circumstance. It also only has men. I think there's not a woman in the cast. I think that it is an entirely male movie.
Are you sure?
Do you know who the only female character is? Is the computer that he's playing chess against
That's fair.
at the very beginning.
We don't know the gender of the dog. Do we?
Oh, you're right. Yeah. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. It's nothing.
That's
It
true.
is
It is. It
whatever
is.
works
It is
for you.
nothing. You're right.
It's nothing.
All right. Well.
Um,
Oh.
I learned yesterday that there is only one scene in the Lord of the Rings where a female character talks to another female character,
When's that?
and
Uh,
it is a little girl is crying, and one of the other female characters tells her to shush.
Oh.
oh no.
That's it.
So
Oh,
so
God.
it does not count past the Bechdel test.
No.
Well, we have gone long.
We have gone long enough. Thank you guys so much for joining us this week. We hope you enjoyed it. If you're a listener on any of like the podcast media, feel free to go over to our YouTube channel, and even if you don't listen to it on YouTube, give us a sub and a like. That would help us out a lot. Thank you to everybody that supports Brad on Patreon with all of his endeavors with Cerebro. And jury's out. This might be the last cast of the year because I don't know how my work looks next week. So this might very well be the last cast until we get into January. So, but maybe who knows? Maybe all the stars will align and we'll be able to record next week. But thank you guys for joining us, and we'll talk to you guys later.